So what is the CFA program? And more importantly, why are students doing these exams and becoming more and more popular? So in terms of the CFA program, it is the Chartered Financial Analyst, and it is a global exam, globally recognised. The Financial Times describe it as the gold standard, and that's certainly how it is perceived by employers in the financial markets industry. So whether you're talking to a fund manager or an investment bank, all financial market institutions are looking for employees that have CFA Level 1 or embarking on the CFA program. It is a professional designation, which means it is very, very different to a university or academic exam. It's a rather unique experience. It's a professional qualification, that's how it's described, which means the approach and technique is very different, even if you've covered the same topics. It does have global recognition, as I mentioned. It is also described as a second passport in addition to the passport that you have, because it opens doors to working globally. So if your aim is to work in the US, then this helps. If your aim is to work in Asia or in Europe or in Africa, everywhere it's recognised and therefore seen as this second passport. It also gives you workforce advantage. So compared to your peer group, if you have CFA Level 1 compared to someone who doesn't, you will be viewed at a higher technical level than someone who hasn't got the CFA Level 1. And also, certainly in terms of knowledge, I've done a lot of exams over the years, but certainly when I worked in the financial markets industry, I found the CFA exams the most useful, the most relevant to help me in my career and progress myself within the financial markets industry. So who takes CFA Level 1? Well, here's a very interesting statistic for university students. Now, currently there are around 24% of the people taking CFA Level 1 are in academic education, a student. Now that's changed massively over the years. When I first started teaching the CFA exams, that was over 12 years ago, I would say the percentage was around 2 or 3% in terms of students taking the exam. Now, 24% and rising are taking the exam. And that's really showing you that there are significant benefits to taking these exams. And the key benefit is employability. Why are students taking the CFA Level 1 while they're still in academic education? Is because it gets them into that career in the future that they want to get into. And that career could be as a fund manager, or working in an investment bank, or financial analyst, or a wealth manager. These are just some of the roles where the CFA program, the CFA exams are useful. And also the statistics of how many students are taking Level 2 and Level 3 are interesting, because it drops fairly close to zero. Maybe 1 or 2% of those taking CFA Level 2 or 3 are students. So why is there a massive drop? Because they have the job that they want after they've taken Level 1. So you certainly find those who have CFA Level 1 already as a student and then go and take that first step on the career ladder, find it incredibly useful and opens doors for the role that they want. So who holds the CFA Charter? And what I mean by that is that they have passed all 3 levels of the CFA program and also gained relevant work experience to have the designation, the letters after the name. Well, you'll see it's wide-ranging, from accountants to brokers to financial analysts to fund managers to private bankers, research analysts. All of these roles are common for those to have the CFA designation and passed all 3 levels of the CFA exam. So very simply, if you want to enter into any of those roles that are listed here, then it's going to be attractive to employers that you have at least CFA Level 1 and that will certainly open the doors in terms of job interviews, look good on the CV, all those kind of things that you want to get into the financial markets industry will certainly help to have at least CFA Level 1. Okay, so how do we get you through these rather challenging exams? You may be aware that the global pass rates for CFA Level 1 are not very encouraging. They're typically around the 40% mark, so only around 40% of CFA Level 1 candidates are successfully getting through the exam. That's global. Now, why is that the case? Well, there's some key reasons why. Firstly, a lot of people will underestimate the time required. And we've already mentioned recommended study time is 300 hours. But I'd say there's a bigger reason why people are failing this, and that is not knowing how to apply the knowledge to these types of questions, not knowing the exam technique, not knowing what the exam focus is, not knowing how to apply it to these types of questions. And that's why we're very successful in getting CFA candidates through the exams. We work with a whole number of universities globally, and we have very, very successful pass rates. We're very proud of our pass rates of getting university students, as well as those working in employment, getting them through the CFA Level 1. So why are we so successful? Well, we have a strong track record of over 15 years getting candidates through, and it's tried and tested. Step one, you've got to have the study resources on day one, not when you turn up to a class, but from day one when you've committed to taking the examination. So signing up, you will receive login details to the online portal mobile app. I'll talk more about this a bit later on and show you how useful the portal and app is. You've got to have the right materials. You've got to have the materials that are relevant for this exam. So we have spent a lot of time, the full-time faculty writes our material to make sure it is focused and relevant and precise for this kind of exam. So you've got to have the right materials. If you're coming onto a course, you've got to get the expert tuition. Whether you come onto a course physically, face-to-face, or whether you do it virtually through our online portal, through a live webcast, either way, you've got to have expert instruction. So all the faculty here at Fitch Learning, including myself, we're all CFA chart holders, teaching CFA for many years, more than we care to mention. We know what it takes to get through the exam. We know what the common pitfalls are of delegates. We will make sure that you avoid those pitfalls. We'll keep you on track, and we'll do that through performance metrics. We will actually assess your performance via the online portal. It's got built-in diagnostics, which will actually tell you if you are falling behind and what you need to do to get back on track. Support is key. And again, that's not just in the classroom, that's outside of the classroom. So we have a global instructor help desk. Again, you can log in this via the portal, and there you will get access to all of the 20 instructors who teach the CFA program and get a very swift response. You get that round-the-clock support as well with our instructors based in London, New York, Singapore and Dubai. And finally, in the final month, the final weeks of your studies, you've got to have the right revision aids. Again, we'll give you those useful top tips, those shortcuts, those mock exams that are crucial to make sure that you get through this exam first time. Okay, well, I hope you found that of use and helpful. Here are contact details for our offices in each of those regions. As mentioned before, we have offices in London, New York, Singapore and Dubai. Please get in touch. Please contact us. We'd be very happy to help and give any further support that will help you.